Now, it's no secret that Santo Domingo is my favorite city here in Dominican Republic. I did a video on this recently about why I love Santo Domingo and why it's my favorite city here. You could click the link somewhere above here to watch that video. But like I said in that video, typically people either love or hate Santo Domingo, and there's never a gray area with those people. And for the people who haven't visited the island, they don't really understand how big and densely populated Santo Domingo is. Yes, Dominican Republic is an island, but it's not as small as you think. From the far western part of the island all the way to the far eastern part of the island, it's about a 7.5 to 8 hour drive. Now that's like going from Atlanta, Georgia to Richmond, Virginia. And that's a long drive, trust me. I've done that drive. And from the southern tip of the island all the way to the northern tip of the island, it's about a 3.5 hour drive. And that's like driving from Miami to Orlando. And I've done that drive too. So as you can see, you're not getting around this island in 30 minutes to an hour like some other Caribbean countries. When people tell me they're coming to Santo Domingo and they want to meet up, the first thing I ask them is, what city will you be staying in? And most of the time they say Punta Cana. And I say, well, I live in Santo Domingo. And they like, okay. And I'm like, you know that's like a 2.5 hour drive, right? And they be like, nah, I ain't know that. And I say, well, enjoy your trip, because if you're not coming to Santo Domingo, you won't be seeing me. I say this just to give you an idea of how big the island is. And typically first-time travelers to Santo Domingo are immediately overwhelmed with everything that's going on here when they get to the city. And it's understandable with all the heavy traffic, the amounts of people walking around, the businesses side by side. I mean, it's a lot to try to figure out. And for a newcomer, that's a lot to take in on your first trip. So typically what new travelers do when they come to Santo Domingo is they stick to the Zona Colonial area, which is the most popular tourist destination here in Santo Domingo. And they have everything in that little area, so you really don't have to venture out if you don't want to. Or they visit other areas in the country like Boca Chica, Juan Dolio, Punta Cana, Cabarete, Sosúa, or Puerto Plata, because you can learn those landscapes in those areas in a day or two, and it's very easily digestible. So before you get deterred from moving or visiting Santo Domingo, I want to help you kind of make sense of the city. That way on your next visit, or when you plan to move, you have an idea of the lay of the land and how things work here in Santo Domingo. And I'll also tell you what area I enjoy the most. So let's start with this. Santo Domingo is primarily made up of 4 areas: Santo Domingo Este, Santo Domingo Oeste, Santo Domingo Norte, and Distrito Nacional. But most of the time, foreigners end up in either Santo Domingo Este or Distrito Nacional during their stay here in the city. So let's start off with Santo Domingo Este, which is the first area you're gonna drive into as you're leaving the airport heading into Santo Domingo. And some of the most popular neighborhoods in Santo Domingo Este are Almarosa, Ensanche Ozama, San Isidro, and Los Frailes 1 and 2. I hope I said that right. Santo Domingo Este is known for its vibrant nightlife. Now, I don't go to Santo Domingo Este often, but when I want to switch up my nightlife routine, I'm heading to Santo Domingo Este. It has some of the most popular streets in that area. Like, one is Ave Venezuela. It's about 5 or 6 blocks, literally on both sides, nothing but bars, restaurants, street food, vendors, clubs, lounges, whatever you want, it's over there on Ave Venezuela. And the funny thing, in the daytime, it looks normal. But when the sun goes down and the night hits, man, it's one huge party scene. And one of my favorite clubs or bars, I'll say bars, it's more like a bar and lounge, is Dial Bar. That's one of my favorite spots to go, have a drink. And guys, when I tell you, they are there at Dial Bar all the time. So if you ever here and you go to Santo Domingo Este, hit up Dial Bar. And another street that's in Santo Domingo Este is Ave España. Listen, it has the same thing that Ave Venezuela has. Clubs, restaurants, bars, lounges, vendors, street food. But one thing different about Ave España that Ave Venezuela doesn't have is that Ave España is right there on the Malecón. So you got that water right in front of you. If you're at one of the restaurants or bars, you got the water in front of you. Or if you're sitting there on the Malecón, you got the water behind you as you have your drink, enjoying your time with your friends and family. Man, it's a really nice time over there. And one of the most popular clubs over there is the Mixer Bar. A lot of people know about the Mixer Bar, especially foreigners. That's one thing they ask me about when they come in. They say, man, tell me about the Mixer. The Mixer Bar is nice, but it's a lot of other places and lounges and bars in that area that you'll enjoy that's equally or better than the Mixer Bar. In Santo Domingo Este has their own mall called Mega Centro. You'll find all type of stores in Mega Centro. It's always packed with a whole lot of people. So guys, if you're ever staying in the Santo Domingo Este area, it has everything you need: malls, restaurant, bars, anything you're looking for is there in Santo Domingo Este. Now let's head over to Distrito Nacional, which to me is the heart of the city. Some of the most popular areas in Distrito Nacional is Zona Colonial, like we just mentioned earlier in the video. It's a popular tourist destination. Also another area is Gasquay, which actually connects to Zona Colonial. A lot of foreigners stay in that area too because it's in such close proximity to Zona Colonial. Like I say, they're connected. So if you're staying there, you may have like depending on where in Gasquay you are, you can have a 5-minute walk to Zona Colonial. Other areas are like Naco, Piantini, Bella Vista, El Vergel, La Espadilla, La Joya, Cristo Rey, Ensanche Kennedy, Arroyo Hondo, Los Casagascos. I hope I said that right. If you're Dominican, you can correct me in the comments below, but I think that's how you say it, Los Casagascos. Those are some of the areas that's in Distrito Nacional. Man, I can name 10 or 15 more. I'm sure somebody gonna get in there in the comments and they're gonna say, man, you left out Los Prados, El Millón, Evarista Morales. I mean, I can go on and on and on. It's a whole bunch of nice areas in Distrito Nacional. And Distrito Nacional is where I spend most of my time. And the reason being is because I live in Distrito Nacional. And some of my favorite areas in Distrito Nacional are Bella Vista, Piantini, and Naco. Those are my favorite 3 areas in Distrito Nacional. All 3 areas are upper to upper middle class. They have a very upscale vibe similar to the US. And in certain parts of those areas, man, you would think you're in the US because everything looks so modern. You'll also notice more upscale restaurants and lounges in these areas. You'll see a lot of American fast food restaurants there like McDonald's, Burger King, Popeyes, Taco Bell, Wendy's. You'll also notice American restaurants such as TGI Fridays, Hard Rock Cafe, Outback, Chili's, and Applebee's. Also, the women and men, or I just say the crowd, is very upscale. And some of my favorite places to hang out there are La Ultra Bar, La Posta, Revel, Brooklyn Rooftop, and so many, many, many more. I can't even name them all. They all have this cool vibe and just a great experience whenever I go there. And most of the malls are located in Distrito Nacional, like Agora, Acropolis, Sambil, Downtown Center, and Galleria 360. So let's head up to Santo Domingo Norte. And to me, Santo Domingo Norte is like the South in America. And the reason why I say that is because everybody you meet in Santo Domingo has some family member that's from Santo Domingo Norte. Just like in the States, especially with black people. Most of black people's family comes from the South. So if you meet somebody in New York or LA, they always got somebody or family member or grandmama who is from the South. And that is how people are here in Santo Domingo Norte. Some of the most popular neighborhoods in Santo Domingo Norte are Villa Mella, which is where everybody is from. Also, you got Guaracanos, which is another place where everybody's from. And you have Sabana Perdido. Those are some of the main areas in Santo Domingo Norte. Santo Domingo Norte is a different animal. I'm telling you. It is heavily populated. The traffic is crazy. I don't even complain about driving here in Distrito Nacional. But if I drive in Santo Domingo Norte, the little hair on my head I have, I'm pulling it out. It's literally every man car to himself when driving in Santo Domingo Norte. And Santo Domingo Norte is a very typical Dominican neighborhood. You don't really see many foreigners there. And if you do, they're there because they know someone, not because they booked the Airbnb there. Santo Domingo Norte is probably the second area where I spend most of my time because my wife's family is from Santo Domingo Norte in the Villa Mella area, so we do go there often. Santo Domingo Norte is like its own little city. You really don't have to leave that area to do anything. And now that they built that new mall there, I think it's called Los Colinas or something like that, you really don't have to leave. You can do all your shopping there. They put up huge grocery stores. I think they built a big Olay over there, and they got another huge grocery store over there. So you really don't have to leave Santo Domingo Norte for anything. And now that they're starting a lot of new developments over in the Jacobo Baluta area, I'm sure in the near future you'll start seeing more foreigners in that area. So now let's head to Santo Domingo Oeste, which is an area I rarely even visit unless I'm either leaving the city going to Santiago, because you have to go that way to get to Santiago, or going to Asua. And to me, Santo Domingo Oeste is the red-headed stepchild of Santo Domingo because it's the last area of focus. And honestly, I don't know much about Santo Domingo Oeste because, as I said, I don't spend much time there, but some of the most popular areas or neighborhoods there are Hato Nuevo, Mano Goyaba, and Jaina. Those are ones that I'm pretty much familiar with. I don't have a lot of commentary about Santo Domingo Oeste. As I mentioned, I rarely visit here, but the only time I do go to visit there is I like to go shopping at this grocery store called, or supermercado called Carrefour, which is in Plaza Duarte. I like to shop there every now and then. I don't go often, but like I said, you may catch me there maybe once a month or once every other month. I may go over there, but other than that, I'm typically not in the Santo Domingo Oeste area. However, that area is expanding also. I seen them, they recently completed the Terraferico, which is the cable cart that they use to commute around the city or in that area. And they also are building or completing the Metro Rail, which is the subway system here in Santo Domingo, to expand all the way to Santo Domingo Oeste. So things are happening in Santo Domingo Oeste, but it's not as, I would say to me, it's not as popular as the other areas. And like Santo Domingo Norte, Santo Domingo Oeste is a typical Dominican area also. You will rarely see any foreigners over there unless they know someone in that area. So it's probably no secret as to which area I prefer the most, and you've guessed it, Distrito Nacional. And it's probably why I live there, because I love the energy, I love the vibe of it. Everything is pretty much modern, it's upscale, and that's just my flavor. So if you come to Santo Domingo and you don't get out to the Piantini or Naco or Bella Vista area, you're doing yourself a disservice. Don't stay locked up in Zona Colonial. You gotta go out to these areas, man, you will enjoy yourself. And my second favorite area is Santo Domingo Este. And listen, if I wasn't living in Distrito Nacional and I had to pick from the other three, without a shadow of a doubt, it'll be Santo Domingo Este. I really like that area, and with the expansion and the developments of the new towers out there, it's starting to bring a group of middle-class people there. So I really like the Santo Domingo Este area. And the third one would be Santo Domingo Norte, and the last one, of course, would be Santo Domingo Oeste. So that's the order I rank them in: Distrito Nacional, Santo Domingo Este, Santo Domingo Norte, and Santo Domingo Oeste. But if you feel different and you rank these four areas different, then leave it in the comment below. I like to see how you rank these four areas, but I hope this helps for those who are looking to move here, or the people who have traveled here or looking to travel here. I hope this little information helps and give you an idea of how Santo Domingo is laid out, and that way you can kind of choose where you want to be. So until the end, you already know, keep your goals at the forefront of your mind. Always live in the present, because that's the only way you're gonna live your best life. I'm out.
Je begot aan mijn best life, yeah. Je begot aan mijn best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. Je begot aan mijn best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing,